what size they are.
This story is, that's what leprechauns do. The three leprechauns sat under the chestnut tree. Harry looked up at the cloud-filled sky. "It's coming," he said, "and there's work to be done." Boo and Call put on their red shoes and their caps and strapped their packs to their backs. "We're ready," Boo said. "But why is it always us that has to put up the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow? Especially since not a single soul ever finds it," Call said. Harry looked from one of them to the other. "Don't be asking," he said. "It's leprechaun duty. So it is, and fellows, remember, it's coming, so there'll be no time for mischief along the way." They walked in line, the one in front of the other one behind. No mischief upon the way," they chanted. But when they got to Ballybunion Farm, they saw Mrs. Ballybunyon's cow, Pansy, standing in the field. Harry whipped out a little bottle of red paint he kept in his backpack for leprechaun business. He ran across to Pansy. "Stand still, my lovely," he told her, and he painted her hooves scarlet red. Can you imagine? Look at her hooves. Pansy looked down. "Pretty," she said. "Imagine Mrs. Ballybunyon's face when she comes to milk you," Harry said. He and Boo and Call rolled over and over in the grass, laughing. "She'll think I've been to a dance," Pansy did a couple of small hops and a step to demonstrate, and the leprechauns clapped and whistled. "We'd be delighted to join you in a waltz or two," Harry claimed. "But we're in a desperate hurry. I thought there was to be no mischief along the way," Boo reminded him. But as they were passing old Jamie Bradley's house, they saw Jamie Gray woolen John spread out to dry on his hawthorn hedge. The leprechauns looked at each other and grinned. Quick as a cat's pounce, they ran across to the hedge and stood one on top of the other and the other on top of him. Harry reached up and tied the two Long John legs together in a tight knot. They almost fell off on each other. They laughed so hard. It would be great altogether to stay and watch old Jamie try to put his legs into those, Boo said. But it'll be a month of Sundays before they're dry, and we have no time to waste. They took a few minutes to somersault across Liam McGabe's garden. There was a yellow tennis ball in the middle of the road. They strolled it along with them as they went. Miss Maud Murphy's hen, Bridie, clucked at them from behind the gate. "Bridie," Harry said, "would you be doing us a favor? Could we trundle this ball up into your nest, and could you sit on it for us? It'll be a great joke on Miss Maud Murphy when she comes out to gather your eggs." Bridie put her head to one side. "It's not going to be easy sitting on that, but the three of you were so good to me scaring that fox away from the hen house last night. I'll do it." Call stretched up and patted her wing. "Thank you, Bridie." They squeezed themselves through the gate and tumbled the ball with them. Then they heaved it up into Bridie's nest. She gave a trial sit on it. Anybody seeing them racing along the road would have taken them for 3 green leaves. But they were leprechauns, and they had work to do. "Get them out, boyos," Get them ready, Harry said. They took their little spades from their packs. They stopped for a minute to look up at the rainbow. Blue, green, and yellow and pink. That was arched across half the sky. There it is, Harry said with satisfaction. Come on! They dashed across Paddy Whacker's bog, found the place where they kept the pot of gold buried for just such a rainbow occasion, and dug it up. Harry stood in the middle of the bog. Here, he said. The three of them placed the pot of gold just in the right spot, watching the rainbow curve itself all the way down till it ended up in the pot. The leprechauns settled themselves to wait. They tootled some grass-stalk music, threw raindrops at each other, and ate rose hips because they had brought them for snacks. They waited long, but nobody came. Once again, nobody came. You'd think somebody would find it, Call complained. Somebody will someday, Harry said. Maybe we should put up a sign, Boo suggested. Pot of gold, this way. Oh no, Harry said. That's not how it's done. There's a bit of magic to the finding, and a bit of luck, a bit of imagination too. That gold's waiting just for the right person. They buried the pot again in its usual place. The rain had stopped. The sun went behind the cloud, and the rainbow shortened itself, then disappeared. No use waiting any longer, Call took off his cap and wrung the wet out of it. If we hurry, we could be in time to see Miss Maud Murphy discover Bridie's big yellow egg, he said. Boo laughed. Won't that be a great thing to see? All right then, Harry said. We'll put a rush on this. They buried the pot again in its usual place, and Harry patted the smooth down dirt bog. Don't worry, Pot, he whispered. We'll be back to get you on the next rainbow day. Now we're off again to see a new mischief we can get into. For besides our important duties, that's what leprechauns do. Oh, look, she discovered that. Oh, there's one more page here. This is about leprechauns. According to legend, the leprechaun is a tiny elf found only in Ireland. Most leprechauns are shoemakers to the fairies, who pay them gold for their work. The leprechauns, or little people, store their gold in pots and often bury one at the end of a rainbow. Since leprechauns love more than anything to play tricks, this may just be another one. The gold at the end of the rainbow has not been discovered yet. But if you find a leprechaun and pick him up, he must tell you where his gold is hidden. That is leprechaun law. So look for leprechauns in Ireland near clear springs of water, or close to a large rock formation, or at the end of a rainbow. Listen for the sound of tiny hammers tapping, or elfin pipes piping, as small voices sing a fairy song. And maybe, just maybe, you will find the leprechaun's pot of gold.